Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. There was some stuff I never even talked about from my hospital stay, including the jail. I didn't want to keep bashing, you know what I mean? But it's the worst than ever. Monroe County, Michigan. Keep writing that I'm incompetent and stuff. Get rid of the Nigerian doctor. He's literally in on some weird stuff. And I don't think he has proper, doctor degrees. I watched him almost put a diabetic into a coma. So, what else did I see? A lot of the other clients were complaining, but it's when you get stuck in the hospital, they just do experiments on you. It's as if you don't have your own life. Now, and that's not how it's supposed to be, by the way. There's a thing called HIPAA, and you're not supposed to be forced into any kind of medical procedure without your permission unless you're court ordered. So now, unless maybe they could force, but if there was an intervention, they technically can't force you. Unless you're literally threatening within the hospital. So a Muslim woman came in, and immediately my spirit was like, because she was immediately glaring at me, by the way, right? I don't know why, but some Muslim women, the ones that are in the really extreme group, they'll immediately tell me they want to KI ... me. They'll look me right in the eye, and I'll have just went like this, like waved going down the street or something. Mostly it's just like a weird glare, but this woman was going out of her way to cause problems with me. And now I don't like to tattle about stuff like that. I mean, what are we, 5 years old? Yes, I'm talking about November 4th. Because when you see a county where you think, oh, it's just a random, I'm going to jump around because we just got up. You're going to, usually, if false reports and stuff are that bad, you're getting a shit beat out of you on your own property without a proper warrant. Now they're going to come back and they're going to keep bullying us. They're going to keep saying that they did have a warrant. So I don't know if they finally, okay, back to the hospital. So I think they finally did the lady to leave because in front of the small group, and it was a small group, well, you couldn't deny what she said. It was a full blatant threat to me. And she had already done it. And there was only like 6 or 7 of us in there. And they already had that med just messing me all up. I was just like, oh, I gotta take a nap. I gotta go take a nap, okay, please? I was feeling fine before I got in here. I almost got killed by the police. And then the Nigerian doctor would say, oh, I don't think you know what you're talking about. So that was my fun in there. Actually, I'm going to get in a lot of trouble because we have a lot of Muslim protection here in Michigan. Another Muslim came in, but this time it was a male, and he started sexually harassing me. I'm not making stories up right now. This was the end of my week at the hospital before they sent me back over to the jail for about, I don't know if I was there 8 hours. And that's when I got the full feel of the brothel prostitution within the jail. I mean, if you think about it, it's genius. It's like, they probably don't have anywhere to go. I'm being sarcastic right now. They probably don't have anywhere to go. This is John's coffee machine, and I'm sharing too now. You gotta remember to shut that off. There is a few beans up top. Well, let's just make it kind of strong, right? Yeah. Oh, I think I'm still learning. gonna check. So he starts sexually harassing me. Like, things were going well in the hospital. I thought there was about 6 or 7 of us. It kind of felt like an offshoot, very cockeyed Breakfast Club. To see the movie. And I don't know if I shared that, but so yeah, this lady, and they let her do this for I don't know how many days. Well, she finally couldn't take it anymore, so we were waiting for lunch outside the cafeteria, because when you're in there for a few days, lunch is one of the most exciting things in there, and dinner and breakfast and the mental, because they don't really want you to read books. And they ended up, someone took the remote. I think it was this lady that was telling me she was going to boom, boom, boom me. Thank God I had witnesses, because we know how it goes for me, right? The lady in the hospital says she's gonna me, and then what? They're writing me up, you know. Okay, back to the jail. So then I get the full feel of how bad it is, and I immediately, it was just like, man, how long have they been pulling this stunt? This is their most brilliant. Before it was illegal immigrants in the jail, and they were getting a bunch of funding for that, and they weren't letting the girls get home. That was one of their things. False reporting has always been, but that in 2002 range, from 2004 they got caught. False reporting from the hospital. I was one of those major false reports that could have landed me in prison, by the way. Now, that was in my worst time, so look at, I would have still been in trouble. I might have even had to go, you know, because they kept stalking me home, and then they would clip me at home with the fact that I was out alone, and then if I had drank some, you know, it's against the law. But at that point in 2002, I already knew that I was doomed. Like, they were going to take me out. I mean, whatever mishaps or problems my deceased elder sibling, what he had gotten involved in, or what had went specifically down, did definitely, I think, just automatically put me on this list. Plus, the man that raised me has a threat out on me, and has, so. And it'll be proven one day. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the jail. Yeah. And they put me back with the main group, but still kind of that punishment thing. So I'm not with the main population. So I'm in one of the rooms on the side of the room. It's like a square, and all the girls are running around in there. And then there's those of us that are probably considered, because they have to keep this image up that I'm the threat. So I'm in the one separate room with the other ones, probably what considered to be violent crimes. So, like, I didn't attack the policeman in 2002. They did all kinds of horrible things to me, from getting me to jail. I tried to just get them to shoot me. And what they did was, I was about 20, going on 27, and when I was just getting the full picture of exactly the network in the county against me, with the people that raised me, with the guy in the dirty businesses, but I still didn't know the extent of all the dirty business, because it was still cloaked, but I can guarantee enough people in the community knew. And then that, I think that could come back on me too, but, you know, if you're related to potential someone who's murdered or done dirty deeds for the law, it gets out. Everything gets out in a town like this. Because there's always a lowlife wanting that dirt. This was how my older sibling was. And he didn't matter what the dirt was on. If it was on me, I mean, he helped propel the dirt on me. Okay, so the jail, definitely running a brothel. I mean, hands down, what they're doing is they're using the commentary. And I believe that I don't know how many women they have, and then those women are giving treats to the policemen, or maybe they even bring some of the men in that want to have like a little jail session. So I don't think that this would be uncommon. It's just that that's how bad Monroe's gotten. And so when you think, oh, people are just in jail, no, these people are being kept technically on a kind of a threat basis if they don't have a home to go to. If the girls are being threatened into sexual acts, it's a nightmare. Okay, so Arnold, he is extremely dirty. It's taken a while for God to really help me piece this together, but you don't want to think the things that God always ends up providing the information for me. And even if it's 5 to 10 years, Jesus is usually spot on. So once I guess I kind of finally had to encourage this Muslim woman from the hospital to leave. This was like on Thanksgiving or just prior to things. And literally all it was is she said, if I smile one more time, and something about my face, and then I think there was death involved. It was pretty rough. For waving, just like if you're going down the hall, and I would avoid her because she was okay, and so back to the main part is I just got out of bed. You're like, well, we don't really care. Well, I do a different kind of show. So what you can do is, guess what? We've discussed this in the past. All right. It's bad, you guys. It's bad. You have a sheriff who is protecting rapists. If any sort of law enforcement protects rapists and killers, your sheriff is a rapist killer. And I know someone tried to say, no, this isn't true. The illegal false reporting with the other 2 girls, those were just the 2 I met. And you're like, well, they're just lying to you. I'm not saying girls don't lie in a holding cell, but usually if you want to get finally the goods out of them, they're sitting in a holding cell. There's not really much face to save at that point. You're in some... They like to put me in the faded, nasty, old, stinky stripes. And, so Arnold's dirty is all out. And honestly, I'm going to say, I bet we're lucky if he reaches 12 and there's going to be something violent involved that he likes to do to the little girls. So I'm going to be falsely imprisoned or whatever. They're just going to keep at me so I croak, because that's what they do. From stress and strain is they have to accuse me of things so that my testimony is not valid. You guys, this is no joke when I say people make like over-exaggerated claims of their local government, but you literally are paying for one of the judges. I'm not saying no, but they're more than willing to get paid off too. And you gotta remember, I've been down this road before. Whatever story you get at the local church or whatever, go ahead, you go with that one, okay? Judge Arnold is it. This is my show, and this is just my speculation with no raw facts, other than the poor illegal way of handling me by law and allowing his threats, his death threats, the letters in the mail, cops coming mocking me. I said, is anyone looking into where Jill went? I really believe my husband and I heard her. It was around July of the first year we were here, and blood shrilling screams, and then her shit's being moved out. And we hope she got out in one piece. But I'm going to say Arnold is into some really nasty shit with some underage, because there's no other explanation for this. The Nigeria guy, all up and down, he was going to hammer me. Never met, went by a file over 10 years old, refused to hear me. They actually had misdocumented, I think even purposely, that I had been in jail since August. And they're like, oh, really? You're still upset about the police brutality? I mean, these people are off. Okay, so then they send me back over to jail because this Muslim guy, he's not leaving me alone. And this all happened within, like, Thanksgiving. So, like, a day prior to Thanksgiving. And then they send me back to the jail with giving me plenty of sight time of what they're running over there. So obviously you would get more cash into your commentary and stuff if you're doing what you're told. Okay, well, that's my story from Monroe County, Michigan today. I mean,